Everybody, want to say with another Death Guard preview video. This one we're going over what Warhammer community showed concerning the army rule and one of the detachments that will be featured within the Death Guard Codex. So let's get into it. Starting with the army rule, Nurgle's Gift, which is an awe ability. Now, it's sort of similar to what Death Guard had before with the contagion effect, where it starts off with a 3-inch bubble, and then it goes to a 6-inch bubble, and then it goes to a 9-inch bubble. But it has been tweaked ever so slightly, because you've got a choice of plagues you can put on your opponents with said bubble. So we'll start off first with the Skull Squirm Blight. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Not bad. Solid. It's not bad. Some armies it's irrelevant, but it's not bad. Rattle Joint Ague, or Ague, or however you pronounce it. Worsen the save characteristic of models in this unit by 1. Yeah. So this is on top of the standard -1 toughness to have, by the way. So you can choose to make them -1 to hit and -1 toughness. The -1 toughness is universal. The choice of the 3 plagues is the other effect. So you've got the you've got Skull Squirm, you've got the Rattle Joint I've mentioned, which for me at the minute is the best of the bunch. Next up you've got Scabrous Soulbot. Now this one, in the right circumstances, could be absolutely evil. With this one, you worsen the move, leadership and objective control characteristic of models in this unit by 1. That's a lot of debuffs. So you can slow a unit down, you can make it more susceptible to psychology, and you can reduce its ability to hold objectives in one fell sitting, on top of reducing a point of toughness off them. That's quite evil. Now for me, I would go between that or the Rattle Joint. Now again, myself as a Custodes player, I know the Rattle Joint one would have me a bit more edgy than the others. Because you're dropping me saves down to 3, you're dropping me toughness down to 4. All of a sudden, my Custodian Guard are turning pretty much no more durable than a regular Jaw Space Marine. And then you've got Pact of Decay. Now this is important in a general sense, but in another video, not so much. But basically what it means is when mustering your army unless specifically stated, otherwise you cannot select Plague Legions in your army faction. So Plague Legions is pretty much Nurgle Demons, which sounds like it's gone par for the course with you can only use the demon units in the God Codexes within the demon specific detachments, not in the general detachments. So this is it's not a Death Guard exclusive thing, it's pretty much par for the course with how the God Legion Codexes are going. Now, on to the detachment. Mortarian's Hammer. And the detachment rule is Miasmic Bombardment. So at the start of the battlebound, select number of enemy units more than 12 inches away from every model from your army that is on the battlefield. Until the end of the next battlebound, those enemy units are afflicted. The maximum number of units you can select this way depends on the battle size as shown below. So instantly you can afflict a unit. They're afflicted, the -1 toughness kicks in, and so on. Just double check that, yes. So if they're afflicted, the -1 toughness kicks in. So in incursion, 1 unit can be affected this way. Strike Force, which is pretty much your standard size game of 40k, 2 units can be affected this way. And if you're going bigger games, Onslaught style, 3 units can be affected this way. Then you've got an enhancement from that detachment, the Eye of Affliction. Death Guard model only, ranged weapons equipped by models in this bearer's unit have the ignores cover ability whilst targeting an afflicted unit. Dovetailing basically into that detachment rule. Say you've got a Lord of Virulence, you put it in a unit of Blight Lord Terminators. All of a sudden, all of their weapons have ignore cover. Likewise, we have it on a character in a unit of Plague Marines and so on. So the two of them kind of dovetail nicely and synergise pretty well together. Stratagem from Mortarian's Hammer that they showed off in the Warcom article is the Font of Filth. Use it in your shooting phase, and you use it when a Death Guard vehicle from your army is not being selected to shoot. And the effect is, until the end of that phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have the assault ability. So all being here, they can move and shoot. Very handy, especially with certain vehicles. So the impression it gives here that is Mortarian's Hammer is the vehicle-friendly detachment of Death Guard. Uncharacteristic with Death Guard always largely and traditionally in the lore especially being a very infantry-centric force. Vehicles to them are a tool, nothing more, nothing less. They're all about the slow, relentless march up the field and laying down river and fire with hordes of infantry. Basically, the Death Guard way of war is lots of infantry and the war of attrition. And yes, that is it from that. Oh, we have another detachment, sorry. I stand corrected. There's the Numberless Horde. Now this one, in theory, is a detachment Typhus will love. So the detachment will, Numberless Horde. In your command phase, in each of the following battle rounds, depending on your chosen battle size, add a new Poxwalkers unit with a starting strength of 10 to your army in strategic reserves. So in incursion, again it depends on game size as to which battle rounds this becomes a thing. So in incursion, it's battle rounds 2 and 3. Strike Force 2, 3 and 4, and if you're playing Onslaught 2 to 5. An enhancement from this detachment is the Riverborne Pipes, which you give to it can only be equipped by the Noxious Blightbringer. Whilst the bearer is leading a Poxwalkers unit, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of models in that unit, and each time that unit takes a battle shock or leadership test, add 1 to that result. Add 1 to the test. Not bad. I mean, it's going to depend on a lot of other things because we're only seeing snippets in these previews of what the detachment can actually do. On the face of it, first impression, it's not bad, but Poxwalkers are basically units that the Death Guard use to eat bullets. They have one job, keeping the Plague Marines behind, keeping the Plague Marines alive. And if we go to the stratagem, also the detachment name is the Shamblewot Vectorium. Right, so stratagem they showed off in the preview is the Shambling Wall. You use it in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit is selected for targets. 1 Death Guard unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the of the attacking unit's attacks in one friendly Poxwalkers unit within 3 of your unit and visible to both your unit and the attacking unit. And the effect is until the end of the phase, each time you would allocate an attack to the model in your Death Guard unit, if the Poxwalkers unit is visible to the unit shooting, and is eligible for that attack. Basically, it's a thing of the Poxwalkers eating the bullets. So finishing how it's worded. No saving throws made for that attack. Instead, a number of Poxwalkers from your Poxwalkers unit equal to the damage characteristic of that attack are destroyed. So yeah, it's basically Poxwalkers eating bullets to keep the Plague Marines, the Blight Lord Terminators, Death Shrouds, whatever else alive and undamaged. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I mean, they did offer some text snippets of the other detachments, but we'll cover those in a bit more detail when I eventually get my hands on the Codex and review it. But so far, what do you reckon about what we're seeing with the Death Guard? As always, let me know in the comments, and I shall catch you in the next video. Bye.